Well, we're getting the right music to have Joe on now. That seems to be what you hear when you walk in any kind of entertainment place these days. We're back here on the Wall Street Shuffle, folks. This is going to be hard not to do puns of this entire segment, but I'm going to do my absolute best to keep it above board. 877-777-7713. We have Joe Francis on the line, and everybody who, whether you believe in the adult entertainment industry or you don't, you know who Joe Francis is. He is the hero and creator of Girls Gone Wild series. And Joe and Larry Flint have teamed up, and they are seeking a bailout for the adult entertainment industry. I'm using the nice, kind euphemism, Joe, because that's the only one our audience is going to tolerate, brother. So here, let me tell you right off the bat, whether our audience is either pro-adult entertainment or anti-adult entertainment is not the point. It's the fact that you guys have the guts to go out there and ask for a bailout. And, brother, I am so with you on this for the simple reason I love illustrating the absurd with the ridiculous. And this is the best thing in the entire world, because what's the difference between a job in the adult entertainment industry and a job producing cars?
Yeah, I mean,
a job is a job.
And an industry is an industry. So, you can't bail out one and not the other. But, Dan, I'm so happy that you got it. It's like there's a lot of people out there who didn't get it, but it did create the people that didn't get it. Look, we created the discussion for utilizing the technique of exactly what you said, the absurdity. And that's what started generating the discussion. And people who got it explained it to people that didn't. And I think that's why it created such a stir.
Well, we're pretty smart here on the Wall Street Shuffle. We kind of get the sarcasm, the absurdity, and we love that kind of stuff because we get it all the time with the ridiculous Treasury and the Federal Reserve. I mean, they are the center of humor these days. No matter how hard you might want to make a joke, Joe,
a joke.
Out-joke the Federal Reserve.
I say, my thing is Adam Smith is rolling in his grave. I mean, you move from you move from a free market capitalist economy and to a nationalizing industries. It's like what the hell? And then you inject money into one, into
we already
one
going down?
automaker.
We're already going down the puns right now.
Yeah, you inject into one and stimulate another, and it just doesn't make sense. It's you're completely bypassing the cyclical nature of business.
Well, you know what I want to know is I want to know what congressman or senator is going to make the decision to nationalize the adult entertainment industry. I want to know who that guy's going to be, and then more importantly, I want to know who the porn czar is going to be.
Yes, exactly. Well, hopefully we'll have a nice porn czar that will that will oversee all the. I'm sure Paulson might jump in. I can't see him lasting under this administration not much longer, with handouts to his buddies on Wall Street.
Well, nobody more surprised than me that you follow Adam Smith and you understand these things. So this is just the real kick for me, because whether it was the adult entertainment industry or any other industry, the absurdity of what's going on in government right now, them passing out our money in the forms of bailout to bail out industries capriciously because the Treasury or the Federal Reserve one day feels like they feel that it needs to be bailed out. It's ridiculous. My goodness, a job is a job. It's not up to the Treasury and the Federal Reserve to take our tax dollars and bail out anybody.
What has it done to create jobs? Because it's hurt other people. And back to the invisible hand, and back to this, this book, Wealth of Nations. What did he coined that phrase? But what did it mean? It means cycles in business, the cyclical nature of business, and it has to play out. Producers have to come together with consumers, and that's going to dictate price, and that creates the market. And the government intervention just throws a wrench in it. And for every one thing they think they've solved or tell us that they've solved, they've created 10 more needs for a bailout. I mean, do you honestly think that you're going to get a better quality car, that you're going to get a less expensive car? I mean, we're going to all suffer because of what they're doing and interfering with this natural cycle.
And will anybody get a better Girls Gone Wild DVD because the government's taken over the adult entertainment industry?
That I can promise you will. If I get $5 billion, I'll make sure every man, woman, and child over 18 gets a free Girls Gone Wild DVD. How about that?
Well, one thing that I realize is why you and I are getting along so well on the radio is because you graduated from USC in '95 with a degree in business administration. I'm an old Notre Dame guy, and last time I checked, we used to beat the bejesus out of you. We've had about 10 or 15 bad years, but we'll get back in the game one of these days.
Nothing like watching a game there in South Bend and we're looking at touchdown Jesus.
You guys still didn't win that. You won that. That Bush push. You didn't. Oh, sorry. You guys did not get. You did not get over the goal line. Notre Dame should have been national champion. You know it, and I know it.
Well, Dan, I had to go when I went there. I had to go quite a few times and get our ass beat by Notre Dame. So it was quite refreshing these last few years.
Well, we are managing to work every one of these puns in here. Who knew? When you went from Southern California, what gave you the vision for Girls Gone Wild? Let's get off the adult industry bailout for a minute. What gave you that vision?
I actually wrote the business plan. It was any product. I wrote the business plan for the company in college at 20 years old, and that became the roadmap and the business.
Well,
but it was other videos at the time is what I'm saying. It really didn't matter what it was. I mean, and then just created a brand, Girls Gone Wild.
Everybody's going to want to know
about. Simple, huh?
Well, I mean, because I'm sure every guy who is, let's say, pro-adult entertainment industry has thought through a business plan like this.
Is anybody really pro or against? Come on. I mean, look at the stats. I mean, I hate to argue this because this is Larry's thing and not my thing to argue, because I don't really care. Like, everybody, to me, it's like you're a hypocrite if you say you're not, because 90% of searches on the internet are for adult material. 50% of all traffic in the United States is for adult material. So you can say that you're I sort of believe, because we sell more product to the places, the zealots, than we do the people, the liberals. So I think that, if the more you say you're not in favor, the more you are.
Well, and about 90% of all the folks in the BizRadio studio right now are nodding along with that. So apparently your statistics are about right.
I hope so. I don't like to quote bad numbers on a Wall Street show.
Well, this is going to be an interesting interview today because we don't normally get this kind of subject matter on, and it's kind of hard. It's hard to cover the subject matter in an intelligent manner, but it is easy to cover the bailout that you're talking about because we are so anti-bailout. We are so anti-government intervention.
Bailout? Where the hell did that come from? I mean, how did they just start that? And it's like these guys in Washington. It's like, I mean, this is just absurd. And then the fact that people bought off on it, and this argument got me the most because people were asking me, in interviews about the bailout, and they're asking me, I mean, over and over again, well, everyone needs cars. We all need cars to drive. Why do we need this? I'm like, look, Toyota is the second largest automaker in the country. They're not getting a bailout because they they retooled their factories to produce the Prius and cars that America wanted, and and kept their costs under control and ran a good business. It's like, where do you get off bailing out one without the other?
Well, Joe, how far are you and Larry going to take this thing? Is it all fun and games, or are you going to take it to the absurd and really push it and see what kind of response you get back? Because what it really takes is somebody with the kind of money you guys have to go out and actually pursue this. Because the average citizen, if they hated what's going on, they couldn't take the time or the money to sue the federal government right now for disclosure. The government wouldn't even let them sue. But you guys are in a position that most people aren't. You can promote this.
But you know what? To be taken seriously, we have to follow the process. There is a process in place that allows you. There's hurdles that we have to overcome. We're doing it the right way. We've sent the letters. We have to wait for a response. We have to file things within certain times. But we still have to be invited. At the end of the day, these congressmen could just simply, they want it to go away. We've raised some very interesting questions, and they would rather see us go away. So are they going to invite us without making a stink? Probably not. But can we sue them? No.
That's right. The federal government has to allow themselves to be sued.
Yeah.
And they're not going to allow it.
It's absurd, but the best thing we can do is keep talking about it and put an end to this because it's our money. I mean, it's our taxpayer dollars that are going. The whole thing is absurd. It's got to stop.
We've got about a minute left, and I have to tell you that whether I'm going to say this again, whether our listeners are pro or anti the adult entertainment industry, no matter what position you're in, most of our listeners, if not virtually all of our listeners, are against the bailout. They're against these government grants. They're against these trillion-dollar numbers, and I think they're for anybody who is trying to make that point, no matter through what industry they're trying to make that point. Joe, I got to tell you, brother, you are one of the best interviews I've had. I support you in this. Again, forget about whether I'm with you or against you on your industry. I want you to go full force in this, and anything we can do here in the Wall Street Shuffle to support you, we will do that. Tell folks how they can reach you.
You can reach me at Joe Francis at meetjoefrancis.com.
Joe, we'd love to have you back on the show anytime, brother. You go kick some butt on this and save the country some money, would you, brother?
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. You too.
All right, Joe. Thanks very much. Folks, we're going to be right back after this break with William Ayers. What a great discussion that will be. We'll be right back.
This is the BizRadio Network, the sound of your money growing.